It's Burt Breer, brought to you by Chevy this holiday season. Chevy helps you make every journey a shared experience, whether it's a truck or an SUV. Find the perfect vehicle to bring people together. What's going on? How you feeling about the Patriots after their game against the Rams? How you feeling about their coaching and their decisions in game against the Rams?
Yeah, I think that, again, on offense, they're sort of where they have been, which is they're fighting with a hand tied behind their back. But I think the quarterback's coming along. And I'm starting to have a harder time where people are really upset with the offensive coaching. There's only so much they can do. And, I actually dug into this last week with Bears coaches and Titans coaches because they had just played them. And they all actually think, the Patriots offensive coaches are doing a pretty good job.
We saw
the defense. The defense is a different story.
Yeah, we heard that.
So, I think the defense. You just keep seeing these things, and look,
last week was disappointing for the defense. Very.
I think there is some criticism that's unfair, why don't you just double team everybody thing? I think is stupid. If you go back and you look at Puka Nakua's first catch, right? Sorry about that.
No, all good. Yeah.
All right. So if you go back and look at Puka, the first catch, the one where he caught it over the middle.
Caught him over, ran two guys over, then swatted somebody and gained another 10
Did you see where he released on that play?
Yeah, he was in the slot. Ellis jammed him and didn't even knock him off his route.
No. That play, the play that I'm referencing, he released between the guard and the tackle, which is kind of a sign of how inventive McVay is. Sean had him motioning in and then come in like he was going to wham block or something.
Yeah.
And then he just and he's a big dude, so you got to be ready for that.
Yep.
And then he releases between the guard and the tackle, which you never see.
I missed that one.
Yeah, so he released between the guard and the tackle. How are you going to double team him? You aren't. And there was stuff they did. They got him twice in the sideline routes, right? Down in the red zone where one to Kupp, one to Puka. The Puka one was a ridiculous catch. But, so I think as far as that stuff, I think there is some of that stuff that's unfair. That said, they continue to get beaten for big plays. They've lost contain, not in this game, but in other games on the quarterback. They've been run on. It's all these things that were consistently never a problem with Bill, right? Even when he had bad groups, he could always say, I'm going to take one thing away from you, or I'm going to make you do this. And it just makes me wonder, does the roster they've built work without Bill? I mean, on the defensive side, does it work without Bill there? Because you have all of these hybrids that are, I think we can agree, specific to Bill, that he
loved those players.
Right. So that's Jabril Peppers. It's Marte Mapu. It's Kyle Duggar. It's and we can think over the years of guys Rodney Harrison was that. Rodney Harrison could play linebacker. Kyle Van Noy was that. Vrabel was that. One of the reasons they were always able to get those guys a little cheaper, a little under the top of the market, as good players as they were, was because nobody else really knew how to use them. And now they go and they reinvest in some of these guys. It makes me wonder, are you investing in the wrong sort of thing?
Yeah, I was going to say, does the right hand know what the left hand is doing on this team?
Yeah.
Because you brought these guys back. You re-signed Peppers. You re-signed.
Or is it the coaches saying to the front office, we want those types of players, and now
they don't know how to do it.
Right, now Bill's not there anymore, and they don't know how to use them.
They have certainly had a drop-off on defense without Bill. I mean, that was to be expected.
Yeah, I mean, Bill's a historic once-in-a-lifetime defensive coach. So
I do understand the criticism of blitzing on 2nd and 9 from the 31. Mike Reese was in here this week. Mike Reese was irate about blitzing on that play, just selling out and blitzing on that
and
play.
And then they hit Kupp over the top.
And it's resulting in a big 69-yard touchdown. He was pissed about that. And I said to Mike, and
here's the thing about that one. Look at that pocket, right?
Oh, it's clean. He was clean all day.
You sent 7. And not only did no one get home,
they never got to him on a day where the line was in question to be as bad as Chicago's from the week prior.
in his 50s could have made that throw with ease.
Look at we've got a still shot of it that we're
wasn't
looking
Stafford making that throw. Every quarterback in the NFL can make that throw.
McComb can make that throw.
Yeah, I mean, it's just.
I don't know about that, McComb. I don't want to give you too much credit.
But that's the thing is so if you're going to send the house. And it's not how many guys they have they had a back and that was it, right? It's just the 5 linemen in the back.
That's it. So that's all you had.
And they have 6 blocking.
They have 6 blockers, 7 rushers, and no one got
No,
there.
it looks like a tight end. Looks like a tight end.
No, it's 23 in the middle.
No.
That's right.
It's a small little tiny back.
That's Kyron Williams,
right,
who's
right.
physical. No, he's
You're
a
right.
good player. He's a
but
good blocker. But
he's not big.
Right.
He's absolutely doing a hell of a job on this play, holding his ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I understand that, but I also am realizing their talent means they have to do things differently, and sometimes
and
they're going to have to take a chance and a gamble, and this is a massive gamble. But if you're going to be anything, be aggressive and be over aggressive. I just hate faulting teams for being too aggressive because I get it. This looks stupid now in hindsight that they did this. I just wish, Bert, that they were as aggressive in their decision making on the offensive side of the ball in this game.
This makes me question scheme though.
Okay,
like if you look at this,
it should.
I mean, because like Zoe, you can explain this way better than me, but like when you're sending 7 guys and no one's getting home against 6 blockers, the scheme is probably a problem. Probably part of the problem.
Oh, God,
the way you're rushing them is probably a part of it.
Scheme should benefit you 5 on 5. 5 on 5 and you get there.
Yeah.
Most teams, when you're really humming on defense, you get there with 4.
Which is what the Rams were doing.
That's what the Rams are doing. And the old Giant teams used to do that against us. And that would frustrate the hell out of Brady.
Yeah.
Because he's like, this is ridiculous. This should be picked up.
Yeah, so like I do have questions about the defensive coaching. And again, like I don't want to be all over him, but I think a lot of people spent a big part of the year all over Alex Van Pelt. Is DeMarcus Covington a bigger problem?
He might be.
I mean,
and then you have to question his background too. Like Van Pelt, we've questioned his background. Like, well, Covington was hired. Bill's out the door. Steve Belichick, who's the play caller, is out the door. Gerard has said, like 100 different places, like he wants to be a walk-around head coach, so he's going to empower DeMarcus Covington. DeMarcus Covington was a D-line coach. Like, that's not normally a spot where the coordinator comes from.
Right.
So, like, who's handling the back end? Who's making sure the back end is married to the front end?
Yeah.
Like, there are all those questions, and it's like maybe that's why you don't know how to use the hybrids.
Yeah, once Puka and Cup started to get them on like 2 or 3, they never went say, "Hey, F it, let's go man. We got a man." They never did it.
Yeah,
they just sat there in zone.
Mm-hmm. And look, like the Rams make it really hard on you scheme wise, like the tight receiver splits. Like their offense is built to make it really hard for you to scheme up anybody, to double team anybody. Like, it's really, really hard the way that McVay sets it up, which is why a lot of people have had trouble with them. But, who didn't have a ton of trouble with them was Bill. Bill knew how to do it. So there's your drop-off. And to be fair for DeMarcus Covington, there'd be a drop-off, I think, with anybody.
Yeah, to go back to this point, though, I'm not buying that DeMarcus Covington should be the guy who kind of shoulders the blame. The Patriots have a defensive-minded head coach. They have a guy from that side of the ball.
Yeah.
Nobody hires those coaches anymore. That's on Gerard Mayo.
Yeah.
He knew that he was hiring an inexperienced guy to be his defensive coordinator. You're supposed to be able to make up for that if you are the defensive-minded head coach. You are supposed to bring that guy along. You are supposed to be more involved on that side of the ball. That's supposed to be your expertise. So I would not be quick to say DC is a problem. You knew you were going to have inexperience there. Where's the head coach?
Right.
I want to be a walk-around coach. Too bad. This is your team. You've got to take responsibility and take over.
And where is the Ben McAdoo on the defensive side of the ball? Like, they brought in Ben McAdoo to backstop everything.
Well, Gerard's kind of supposed to be that guy because he's not doing it on offense.
Head coach.
Yeah.
He's not doing it on offense. That's not where he's spending time.
Bill will go over and kneel down in front of the defense.
Bill would definitely do it. Like, and that's the thing.
Bill was coming up with the game plan every week as head coach.
That's why I say there's the other part of it that you want to be fair with Covington is, like, what sort of jump is he making? Where was he in the pecking order defensively last year? Number 4 at best, right? Behind Bill, Gerard, and Steve. So number 4 at best on the defensive side of the ball. Now he's being thrust into a position where he's the number 1 guy, and I think teams are taking advantage of him and exploiting him because there is a lack of experience there.
Hey, if you like that clip, check out more videos from Zolak and Bertrand right here. For more Patriots analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.